Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode of Pattern Drafting with Marlene, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to draft this beautiful corset with balloon sleeve and a Basque curve, including the loops at the back. If this seems like what you're interested in, you might want to hang around and also tap on the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's just dive into the main video. So guys, welcome back. The first thing I'm going to be doing is just to rule a line like this at the top of my pattern paper as my starting line. And then I'll just go ahead and label the line right away. And afterwards, I'll go ahead and place my tape rule at this point. Starting from that starting line, I'll be taking my bust point measurement, which is 10, and then my under bust measurement, which is 13, followed by my waistline measurement of about 17 inches, and then the top length, which is 23 inches. So I'll just go ahead and connect the lines respectively. This line here is going to be my bust point, and then this is going to be my under bust, my waistline, and then the last one is going to be my top length / hip line. After labeling the lines, the next thing I'll do is just to go ahead and measure half of my shoulder measurement, and then I'll be marking it at this point. And then I'll mark the neckline measurement of about 4 inches like this, and then I'm just going to go downwards by 1 inch at this point for the shoulder slope, and also connect the line. Next, I'll be measuring half of my armhole measurement like this by 7 inches, and then I'm just going to mark the line at that point. And then from there, I'll be connecting the lines to create my armhole curve. And that line is going to serve as my chest line. So the next thing I'll be doing right now, just to come at this point at the center front, I'll be marking half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 7 inches divided by 2, so equals 3.5. I'll be imputing that on the bust points and then the under bust and the waistline down to the length of the top. Just to make this formal, I'll be creating a curve at the neckline, although I'm not going to be making use of it. So I'll just go ahead and connect the points I made around the nipple to nipple measurement. And then I'll simply go at this point. I'll be coming down by 1 inch around the bust point, and then also ½ inch on both sides of the waistline. And I'll just go ahead and create a partial dart for that. I'll be making use of the dotted lines just to differentiate it from the main darts. So to create the curve of the bust, I'll go ahead at this point at the shoulder line. I'll be dividing it into 2 equal halves, and then I'll create a line down to the bust point. I'll be drawing a slanted line like this. After I am done drawing the line, the next thing I'll be doing is just to go upwards at the bust point by 2 inches. So I'll be measuring what I have there. I'll be marking 2 inches, same as my chest line measurement. So for the darts, I'll be going inwards at this part by ½ inch, and then I'll be repeating the same thing at the opposite side. And then at the waistline, I'll be leaving the initial measurements there, and I'll just go ahead and connect the lines downwards to the top length. From that new line at the under bust area, I'll be marking a curve like this to create the cup for my corset. And then I'll be repeating the same thing at the opposite side as well. So now I'm going to be checking what I have around that part at the under bust. I have about 1½ inch. I'm going to be distributing the measurement on the chest line. So for that, I'll be using ½ inch at the center part of the corset, which is the center front area at this point, and then I'll be marking 1 inch at the opposite side, which is the side front of the corset, and then I'll just go ahead and connect it with my curve ruler as well. Next thing I'm going to be doing is just to come inwards like this by ¼ inch around this part. So this is to include what we call bust tightening technique around the upper bust in order to eradicate gaping. Next is to connect the both sides with a curve ruler, and then I will be doing away with the initial line. So guys, I'll be checking what I have for the curves on both sides because they always end up becoming unequal. So I'll just go ahead and measure what I have for this part and the other part as well. So I have 6 inches here, and on the other part I have about 5½ inch. So I'll just go ahead and make it up to 6 inches to balance it up. So at this point of the center line, I'll be going downwards by 1/2 inch. So I'll just go ahead and mark 1/2 inch on this side. And from that same point, I'll be coming inwards by 1/2 inch as well. And then mark a short line there. From that point, I'm going to be connecting it straight down to the underbust line, just like this. And then I'll go ahead and repeat the same thing for the opposite side as well. So for this part, first of all, I'll be taking what I have around my armhole measurement. This is to insert an armhole curve. So I'll be getting the midpoint and then going width by 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to come on the bust line, and I'll be taking 1/4 of my bust measurement, and I'll be connecting the 3 lines like this with my curved ruler. After I was done with that, I'll be sharing what I have at this point. So I have about 1 inch. So dividing it into 2 will give me 1/2 inch. So from there, I'll be coming downwards by 1/2 inch once more. And then I'll be connecting my cup like this, and then this way as well. So after I was done with the cup around the bottom, I went ahead to connect the upper curve like this with my curve ruler, and then I completed the other side of the curves for the other cup. So after I was done with the corset cup, the next thing I did was to go up here. At this point, I'll be inserting my 1/4 of my bust circumference, and then I'll be adding what I took out for the dart, which is 1.5 inches here. And then next I'll be adding my general 1.5 inch stitching allowance. You can add 2 inches, you can add 1 inch, okay, depending on your choice. So after I was done with that part, the next thing is to go down at the waistline. I'll be imputing 1/4 of my waistline measurement here, and then I'll be adding my dart intake, and also I'll be adding stitching allowance. Same thing goes to the hip line area, which is the top length. I'll be marking what I have for the 1/4 of my hip line circumference, and then I'll be taking in the dart and also the general stitching allowance. So now the next thing is just to go ahead and connect it this way. And then the next is to smoothen out the sharp points and blend the rough edges. So just go ahead and label the cups. This is going to be my cup 1 and the other is cup 2. Cup 1 is going to be facing this way, and they're both facing each other. So this is my center front, and then this is my side front. For the center front, I'll be making a notation, which means that this part is going to be unfold. So the next thing I'll be doing right now is just to cut it out. After I was done cutting out the front pattern, this is what I have. You can see that my patterns are looking so fabulous, and the next thing I'll be doing is to join the center front and the side front together using a masking tape. So just go ahead and put them this way because I want to cut out the basque, right? And for the basque, I'll be adding an extra 3 inches of cardboard paper just to extend it downwards to get the appropriate length. The reason why I'm following this method is to avoid this too much stress of joining different parts of the corset, so I have one piece for the down part without having different sections for it, if you understand what I mean. So now I have my lower part in one piece, and the next thing I'll be doing is to come down at the waistline by 2 inches. You can choose to make it 1.5, so I'll be using 2 inches and I'll be marking it at this point like this. So afterwards, I'll be going downwards at this point at the center front, at the middle like this, and I'll be coming outwards by 3 inches. You can choose to make it 2 to 2.5 inches. So I'll just go ahead and connect this line into a curve like this. You can use any of the curve you have to achieve this, or better still, you can use your free hand to get the same effect. So guys, this is how it exactly looks like after I was done connecting the curve, and the next thing is just to cut it out. And our basque is ready. This is what I have after I was done cutting it up. And here's the pattern for the corset cup. And then next is to cut out the back piece. To draft the back, I went ahead to place the front piece on top of another fresh pattern paper like this, and then I'm just going to be measuring what I have around the side front. If you wish to include zipper for this part, just go ahead and measure 2 inches away from that part, and then that is your zipper. So I'll just trace the sides of the front piece like this, and then I'll trace a little bit part of the top like so, and that is it for the back. And the next thing I'll be doing is just to connect it with my ruler this way straight to the center back, and also I'll be slanting my ruler to connect the top like this. Afterwards, I'll be deducting 2 inches at the center back like this. This is because I want to create loops for the back. So I'll be going inwards once more by 1/2 inch at the top like this, because I want it to be slanted and tight at the sides when putting it on. So I'm going to be taking out this part, and then I'll cut out the rest. So this is going to be our back piece for the corset. And here's everything when arranged together in one place. So this is what I have for all the patterns. These are my cup for the corset, and this is the front piece, okay? And also that right there is the back piece. I'm going to be cutting it out with this beautiful fabric you're seeing right here, and this is it after I was done cutting everything up. You can see that I added 1/2 inch all the way around the patterns except for the front piece and the side seams. In fact, there is 0.5 inch joining allowance all the way around the patterns except for the side seams and the center front. So that is all for the tutorial, guys. If you enjoyed this video, kindly give me a thumbs up, and also don't forget to click the subscribe button and also share this video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.